Starting transition. Go.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Astral Central 2020. I'm Philosophy, and I will be your host for the AC20 pre-show. On your right is Aiden1 Lul, also known as Alpha X2, and is the CEO of Astral Industries.
Hello, everyone.
For the pre-show, we have a couple of things lined up, so be sure to stick around for the show.
Just a quick announcement for the in-game viewers. The server will be locked about halfway through the pre-show. So if you got reserved seating, or if you want to join the event at all, you must join, or else the lock will nullify your seat. If you reserve seating, or you didn't, go ahead and check the main announcements channel in Astral Industries Discord server to get the private server link.
For the server, all reactor systems have been disabled as to not interrupt the show. This includes startup, temperature/integrity systems, and the superstructure failure event.
This has been done to prevent any interruptions and to ease the event. Now, where were we?
For the content of the show, they are as follows. Starting right now, we have the beginning of the pre-show. Around 5 minutes from now, the VIP server will lock, so be sure to get in before then. 10 minutes after that, the pre-show will end. There will be a 5-minute transition time, then the main show will begin. The main show will last for around an hour and a half. After that, the live stream will close and the event will be over.
Sounds like we've got an incredible show lined up.
We sure do, Alpha. Now let's meet the host for the event.
Now, the hosts for the event are the Astral Industries Board of Directors, and they are as follows. First off, we have myself, Alpha X2. I am the founder of Astral Industries and the current lead developer for all AI projects. Then we have Blaze. Blaze has been a scripter and a builder ever since Energy Research Hub Alpha 2's development. He's been an incredible guy, and I'm so grateful to have him. After that, we have Hex, or X4QAZ. He's also a builder and scripter, and not only my lead Twitch mod for my personal Twitch channel, but has been sticking around since some of the very beginnings of the development cycle for Astral. After that, we have Floortile, who unfortunately isn't here today, but is our resident composer, who actually made the Energy Research Hub main theme that you've been hearing for the past hour and a half, and the second Meltdown track. After that, we have Mifin, one of our voice actors, who voiced Willow Sylvain, who you may recognize from the receptionist desk. And then we have Philosophy, on your left, who is a voice actor, but he doesn't have any real roles in Energy Research Hub, but he does have roles in Project Osprey.
Us here at Astral are all about community. We want to show some appreciation to the people who made Astral Industries possible.
I would like to extend my thanks to the following people: Jason Star Rising, Gamther, and everyone at Innovation Incorporated. These people both inspired and directly allowed for the beginning of Astral Industries.
Alright, moving on, we have a channel in our Discord where we'll be answering questions. If you want to ask the developer, Alpha, any questions, leave them in the Ask the Devs chat under Astral Central 2020. We will be answering any questions for the next segment. To start off, we have a question from the Noob Slayer 18, who asks, Alpha, what was your Researcher L1 project?
So for context, Innovation Incorporated has a Discord server where people can get cosmetic ranks based off of builds that they post. And I currently have the rank of Researcher Level 1, which is what L1 means. Now, my project was actually Energy Research Hub Alpha 2. This was before it became a group project, and I posted it because I wanted to get, like, Builder Level 2 or something. I did not expect to get Researcher Level 1 from it.
I see. It's always interesting to see the origin of popular developers. Now moving on, 120470 was Too Stolen asks, will Astral Industries ever ally with quantum science?
Short answer, no. Long answer, no, because please note that they have over 100,000 members. There is no way that a group like us is going to be able to actually, like, get an allyship with them just because they have over, like, 1,000 times more members than us. Getting them to even recognize us would be an accomplishment, let alone getting an allyship.
Interesting. Well, let's always hope that everything can improve. I hope we always get that ally with quantum science. Now, next question. Sun Cringe Spin asks, What are these 1s, 2s, and 3s at the shelters supposed to mean? I feel that this is a more general question, but let's find out.
So the 1s, 2s, and 3s at the Blast Shelter and Energy Research Hub are actually meant to be like theme park ride lines. So I'm going to use Walt Disney World's Mission Space as an example. But they have these queue lines, and each of those queue lines have a number on them. For example, seat 1, seat 2, seat 3, and then they have lines so that one car can come in, one person from each row gets in, cart goes off, next one comes in, etc. The original plan was to have the blast shelter closed during the majority of the superstructure failure event, then open at some point, and then people would queue up and get in. But I decided to just, for simplicity's sake, have it always be open. So that essentially they're just cosmetic essentially now.
I see. Well, it's always great to get an insight into the past workings of the game. Now, next question. Zug Hero Gamer asks, how can I access the research labs?
This is a question that we've gotten a lot, surprisingly, from Beta 1. But essentially, how you access the research labs is that first off, you need to go to the Sector F hallway, which can be accessed in Floor 1 or Floor 2 in between each of the sector hallways. Once you go into there, either by the office wings or by the warehouse, you can either take the elevator up to Floor 3 or use a brand new staircase system, which will take you up to Floor 3 as well. From there, you can access the research labs.
I see. It's always interesting to know. Next question. Darren Z Gamer YT asks, where did the initial design for the TIPR come from?
Now, the TIPR, or the full name, the Thermal Injection Plasma Reactor, actually, I came up with it myself. I took some slight inspiration from Zenitsu Incorporated's arc reactor, but I came up with a full design myself while I was bored in one of my history classes. I was bored, so I took out a pencil and some scratch paper and started sketching things out. I got some basic shapes down, general working design, and eventually it evolved into what became the TIPR.
I see. A doodle during class, huh? Classic.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, that's where the best ideas come from, just random doodles.
I see. It's always true. Alright, I see that some people are typing into the Ask the Devs chat. We're going to give you guys 5 minutes to get any questions you want, and we'll be answering questions during this time.
Alright, so
If you have any questions, please leave them down in the chat. Okay, A Scorch asks, in general, how many Eon crystals are out on Earth?
Alright, so, for context for this question, the TIPR runs off of something called the Eon crystal, which is a crystal made of an unknown material that has the property that it duplicates the amount of energy that's shot into it. And in the Astral lore, the founder of Astral found the Eon crystal off on a hike and brought it back to do experimentation on it, which led to the Energy Research Hub. Later in the lore, it is determined that the Eon crystal is actually an element called zirconium, which, when enriched, is what the off-world energy production site runs off of, hence the name Enriched Zirconium Reactor. Now, how many Eon crystals are on Earth? Honestly, I never really planned that out. For continuity's sake, I'll just say that there's 2. The smaller one that the founder originally used to run experiments on, and the one that the TIPR runs off of. But zirconium is naturally found everywhere on Kepler 22b, which is where off-world energy production site takes place.
I see. So there have been 2 deposits that have been found, but we don't know how many there are under the crust.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright. Now we're just waiting for some more questions. If anyone has any, please leave them in the chat. We'll be giving you guys a minute or 2 to put your questions there.
And
in the meantime, do you want to talk about the history of Astral Industries?
Oh no, we'll get into that for the main show, trust me. You don't want to miss it.
Okay. Well, there's a slight teaser for you guys who are waiting. Alright.
Alright.
I see that Nubo is typing along with Difficult Hydra. Please just put your questions in and we'll be waiting.
Yeah, we'll be willing to answer questions for quite a while because we're technically about 20 minutes behind schedule. I'm going to quickly ask one of my developers to lock the private server at this time using the admin panel. It's been about 10 minutes
Okay.
since it's been about the time since it's open, so I'd say it's a good time to lock the server.
Alright, during the meantime, we have a question from Difficult Hydra, who says, what reactor will be in Project Osprey?
Project Osprey's reactor hasn't been planned yet, but it's probably going to be something like the TIPR. It may change in design a lot. In fact, we're planning on making a whole new design for it, because the TIPR, in my opinion, doesn't really look the greatest. But we want to keep some of that originality intact.
Okay, moving on to the next question, Nubo asks, how long did it take to script the startup cutscene during the TIPR sequence?
So, for the actual cutscene, I'd say it took maybe about a combined 4 hours. But that was only because I did not know a lot about tween service and animations at the time, and I was just getting into it. I got a lot better at using it after the cutscene was made. So I had to list out each of like the position properties, each of them going to like 4 decimal places. It took a while to just get all the positions written down, let alone making the actual script. Like half of the startup script is just variables, like just defining things out. Like the startup like animation script I think is like 200 lines of code. And like half of them are like variables defining animations, instances, not sounds, like lights, stuff like that. It was just a lot. And it took, again, I'd say probably about 4 hours to make if you include all the scripting and testing. But I eventually managed to get it all nailed down using camera manipulation, part animation, and just sounds and stuff.
Well, you know what they say, practice makes perfect. Alright, now that we've answered the major and the minor questions, it's time to move on to the main show. Now I will take a 5-minute ad break to move on to the main show. A final word from our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends, trademarked, is an immersive online experience with everything you'd expect from a brand new RPG title. It's got an amazing storyline, awesome 3D graphics, giant
Okay. I'm gonna have to cut you off there. So thank you for watching the pre-show. I hope you didn't mind that we were not actually sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, by the way. So yeah, just saying. So thank you for watching the pre-show, and we will be back in about 5 minutes for the main presentation. Again, thank you all for watching, and we will be back momentarily. Transition progress. Alright,
Okay.
hello everyone. I'm Alpha X2, also known as Aiden, and wow, I really just can't believe that we're actually here. Astral Industries has been something I've always wanted to do. From when I first saw Pinewood Builders Computer Core in 2013. I've always been fascinated with technology, and being able to bring that passion to life in a way that I can do the same for others is what brought Astral into existence. Astral Industries was based on several principles, each of which have defined the way I built the group from the ground up. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we're going to do today. So, starting off, we're going to be talking about the origins of Astral, starting at the very, very beginning. After that, we're going to talk about where Astral is now, from Energy Research Hub Beta 1 and onwards. Lastly, we're going to talk about the future of Astral, and there is something that you don't want to miss. Now, back to the origins of Astral. Astral Industries was founded around June 2020. This may not seem like a long time ago, but considering how wild 2020 has been, it certainly does feel like a long, long time ago. Believe it or not, Off-World Energy Production Site, which we will get to later, was not my first sci-fi project. It was actually something called, now bear with me here, X2 Science's Gravitational Research Labs. Before you ask, no, the game is not open. It's stored on my hard drive and will forever be there. It is a free model chaos world, in my honest opinion. Now, let's take a look at it, shall we? Oh boy, that is that is something, alright. Look at that reactor superstructure. It's just like a cube with like angled sides on it. Almost like a cube with more cubes and wedges on it. It's just chaotic in general. If I'm being honest here, this is an actual studio. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to build or script, and I was using actual free model signs instead of surface GUIs. Man, that was a wild time period. I had no idea what to do, and I managed to somehow get like a button that fires like a startup voice line implemented. It was just chaos. So, long story short, I gave up pretty fast. X2 Sciences was something that I used to get into studio, see what I could do, and see what I needed to learn. Afterwards, I decided to begin work on what I would consider my first core game, which at the time was named Astral Industries Multi-Purpose Energy Research Facility, or AIMERF for short. I remember going into studio and just building. I built for hours at a time, and I wanted to make some hallways for what would be my project to bring Astral into the sci-fi world. I also remember spending hours trying to figure out how to make a door, learning how to use click detectors, tween surface, and so much more in the process. This was called a building test for a good reason, and is currently closed for the time being. Now that I had a bearing for what I wanted to do, I went into studio and made a new project. After conferring with the Quantum Science public Discord server for name ideas, I came up with Astral Industries Off-World Energy Production Site. Still a mouthful, but hey, it's original. My biggest philosophy for Astral was originality. I wanted to bring something new, something different to the sci-fi world than just a ball core with a meltdown and a freeze down. Now, getting back to the point, Off-World Energy Production Site began development sometime in June, with me starting with Spawn, then making the gigantic transport ring. This screenshot is dated June 16th, 2020. This was the very first dev screenshot I ever took for Off-World Energy Production Site. I had made the reactor chamber, the control room, and the outer ring. The three extrusions on the outer ring are, in clockwise rotation starting at the bottom, the lava injector room, which hadn't been built yet, just the hallway, Spawn, and the escape pod hallway. Fun fact, my original plan for Off-World's escape system was to have a railgun shoot people out straight into space. But that really never came to be. Off-World was a pain to build, mainly due to my lack of skill in the odd angles that I had to deal with for hallways, considering that the main hall was actually just a ring. Now this was my very first map that I used for off-world planning. The map was going to be a lot smaller if you couldn't tell by the size of the ring and everything inside of it. And there were actual diagrams for fluid and electric flow. The cyan line was meant to be coolant coming from the left. The dark blue line was cool water coming from the generators. and the red line was heated water, which came out of the reactor. Obviously, the batteries are connected to the generators, and the reactor was just a sphere at the time. This plan was heavily incomplete and relied on a whole bunch of elevators, stairs, and hallways. Now, this image, if you don't mind the accidental typo in the bottom right, was the original fully developed map for Off-World Energy production site. Notice how I actually went out of my way to label things, including drawing the system lines as usual. The new pink line, if you see on the bottom left, was for the force field generator, which was successfully implemented into Off-World Energy production site's final version. Obviously, most of the inner halls were never implemented, as I got bored and finished the game before I could figure out how to implement it all. If you notice Sector E in the top left, it was actually meant to be a shuttle bay. This is because Off-World was originally a space station, before I decided to actually have it be set in the mantle, well, not in the mantle, but near the mantle of planet Kepler 22b, which actually exists. Off-World was developed over the course of about a month. It was something I genuinely enjoyed doing, and I just loved going into studio each day over the summer to work on it. It kept me busy over the summer, and I couldn't be more thankful for the experience that I got out of it. Without Off-World Energy production site, Astral would have never been anywhere close to where it is now. One thing that has always kept me going is Astral YouTube content, which still astounds me to this day. To think that people like our creation so much that they share it to the world humbles me to my core. Most notably, a video on Off-World Energy production site by YouTuber Extremely Long and Really Long Name reached almost 1,000 views at the time of the event. Go show them some love. Now, before we move on to the development of Energy Research Hub's Legacy map, which is the next step in Astral's history, I'd like to thank everyone who has supported Astral from the very beginning, all the way from the beginning of Off-World's development and onwards. Now, to Energy Research Hub Legacy. This was meant to be 10 times better than Off-World, and would be the successor to what I thought was a pretty solid game at the time. I started development of Energy Research Hub Legacy, hereon referred to as just Energy Research Hub, on July 19th, 2020, exactly 1 month and 3 days after Off-World was first made. Energy Research Hub had this for a plan. People would enter via diagonal elevator, and would be able to explore 3 different sub-levels to the facility. By the way, here's some more maps that I made for it. Energy Research Hub was completely planned out, and I had decided on a 3-level design, as I said earlier. I got some of it done by the time it was discontinued, and then it just kept posting updates. But as I kept developing it, I started to feel like the game was just too simple in a way. Like, I didn't like the way the reactor design was going, I just didn't like the building style, it just felt off to me. So, I discontinued it. After Energy Research Hub Legacy was discontinued, I didn't really want to let down the Astral community. There was like 20 members at the time. So I began what you all know and love, Energy Research Hub. Astral Industries, at the time of writing this, is at around 80 members, with a community server with over 40 people in it. I could have never done this without the wonderful community. So let's talk about where Energy Research Hub came from. Now, Energy Research Hub was made on August 23rd, 2020, and is being worked on to this day. The early days of Research Hub consisted of basic construction, like turning the default base plate into the grass for the intro cutscene. The actual map was made from the parking garage onwards, taking weeks to build at a time. Energy Research Hub's lobby was actually modeled off of a high school cafe, because I love the colors, design, and aesthetic of the place. Using the design of the lobby, I expanded it to include the hallways of sectors B through E. Around here is where I published Alpha 1, around September 20th. From here on, Alpha 2 and 3 included updates to the room, to different rooms, the TIPR, and many other back-end subjects regarding the game. Speaking of Alpha 2, this is when Energy Research Hub became a team project. Anything before that was done by me alone. I brought X4QAZ, or Hex, onto the team from my Twitch channel, and then later on I got Blaze from there as well. They are both incredible people with talented minds, and I am so grateful to have them here. After Alpha 3's release, development slowed down a bit due to influence from school, overwhelming pressure from deadlines, and many, many other internal aspects of development being busted. Eventually, me and the other developers managed to catch back up, bringing Beta 1 to the world on December 20th, 3 days ago. This was the largest update Energy Research Hub had ever seen, bringing a new control room, updated scripts, a superstructure failure, or meltdown sequence, and the termination cycle, which is essentially just a reactor shutdown sequence. With this new update, Energy Research Hub is pretty much almost completed, with only a few things left to do before putting it on the back burner. Now, regarding YouTube content made on Energy Research Hub and other games, I'd just like to give a couple of shoutouts to a few channels. So, I'd like to give some shoutouts to the following people. A Scorch for making a video on Energy Research Hub Beta 1. Then Virtual Paradox for making a video on Energy Research Hub Alpha 3. Roblox Gaming Mobile for making a video on not only Alpha 3 startup, but a full facility tour, which is absolutely incredible. Discovery for making a video on Alpha 3 startup again, and then extremely long and really long name, who didn't make Energy Research Hub content, but made that 1,000 plus view video on Off-World Energy production site. So again, thank you all so much for handling all of that. And now, let's get to the good stuff. Now, before we head on to where Astral is heading, I'd like to give one final thanks to this community. Astral wouldn't be where it is without people sharing it to the world. So I always love to appreciate those who take their time to make amazing content on our games. Now, this is where the good stuff is. In this segment, where Astral is heading, we are going to be talking about where Astral is headed in the future. We've got a lot of very exciting stuff to talk about, so without further ado, here's where Astral is heading. First off, let's talk about Energy Research Hub. We've received a lot of community feedback, which we always appreciate, and we are going to implement a lot of them into Energy Research Hub Release 1. With this update, Energy Research Hub will no longer be in early access, but a fully released game. This will cement it as the second fully released Astral game, after Off-World Energy production site. With Energy Research Hub complete, after Release 1 is published, there will be probably one final update to Energy Research Hub, giving bug fixes, small features, and more details to make the game look better. Release 1 is going to include some of these features: finishing the cafe, adding snack props and tools, and also the concession stand in the control room, adding a section to the shop in-game, allowing players to spend their in-game dollars on in-game items, more community-requested features, and so much more. We can't wait to close off Energy Research Hub's development with a bang, and we are so grateful to see you guys come along for the ride. Energy Research Hub has personally been the best game I've ever made, and we are so happy to see you guys enjoying every bit of it. Some of the compliments I've received in some servers that I've joined are simply outstanding. Now, here's where things get juicy. If you've seen our Discord recently, you may have heard about something called Project Osprey. Now, we can't say much, but we can do this. I am proud to announce that Project Osprey's full name is Sterling Heights Research Institute. Henceforth known as either Sterling Heights, SHRI, or AISHRI, standing for Astral Industries Sterling Heights Research Institute, this game promises quality in the utmost sense. The level of building and scripting quality will be miles beyond what Energy Research Hub provided, and will demonstrate what AI is truly capable of. SHRI is currently still in planning, and more details will come over the course of 2021 and beyond. While Sterling Heights is under development, we could still update Energy Research Hub, so feel free to leave feedback for future patch updates. Sterling Heights promises to be something that everyone can enjoy, while also bringing some of the best detail to an amazing facility that will stun the sci-fi community in its place. Now, before the show ends, I want to present a couple of other things. First off, please welcome STM02 to the Astral Industries Board of Directors. They have been promoted to this position because of their outstanding contributions to Astral, including creating the Astral OS Discord bot and creating multiple UI designs for Sterling Heights. Everyone, in-game, go ahead and welcome them to the Board of Directors. Alright, next up, here is a full timeline of Astral's history, from what has happened from the very beginning up to Energy Research Hub Release 1. So, for this timeline, at the beginning of early June of this year, we have when Astral was founded. After that, we have June 16th, when Outworld's development began. July 18th, a month and 2 days later, Energy Research Hub Offworld Energy Production Site 1.0 release. 2 days later, Energy Research Hub Legacy began. July 31st, Energy Research Hub Legacy entered public testing. And then on August 23rd, Legacy got discontinued, and the current Energy Research Hub began its development cycle. September 6th, Energy Research Hub entered public testing. September 27th, Energy Research Hub Alpha 2 came out. October 18th, which was about, 2 to 3 weeks after that, Energy Research Hub Alpha 3 came out. And then a whole 2 months later, Energy Research Hub Beta 1 came out 3 days ago on December 20th. And lastly, Energy Research Hub Release 1 will be occurring sometime in early 2021. And again, we can't wait to see you all there. Now, that's really about everything. I want to thank all of you for coming. Again, Astral would be nowhere without the community, and I wish everyone the best of luck today and in the holiday season. And before we cut the stream off, if anyone has any final questions, feel free to ask them in either game chat or ask the devs in the AI Discord server. I'll be answering questions for the next 5 minutes, so if you want to ask anything, go ahead. Still, I want to thank all of you one more time, just for being an incredible community that I could always rely on. Seriously, I don't know where I would be without you guys. And honestly, if I didn't find this as my passion, maybe not my life passion, but as a very cool hobby that I've been able to do, I don't know where I would be, because school has really been the only thing that I've really been able to do. Alright, coming from STM, our new board of directors menu, where is Energy Research Hub located? Canonically, Energy Research Hub is located in the town of Dalton, Georgia, in the United States. Just because of I thought the area was nice, and it could be somewhere that Energy Research Hub could be located. Plus it has the Appalachian Mountains nearby, which could be where the founder could have found the first Eon crystal deposit. Alright. So, you may have noticed that this event was a lot shorter than it was originally planned. It's been just about 40 minutes since the pre-show began. And this is because we just generally thought that this event would be longer, but the whole dev team kind of procrastinated on this, and it really only ended up being about 40 minutes plus the pre-show. So, yeah, I hope you don't mind. From Velocity in the chat, will Sterling Heights be a sequel or a prequel? Sterling Heights is a sequel. It takes place after Energy Research Hub, and will be located somewhere in the mountains, kind of like where Energy Research Hub is, in the snow. From Nubo in the Ask the Devs chat, what will be in the credit store? The credit store will have special in-game items. For example, a flashlight that you can buy for use during power outages, during Phase 3 of the TIPR superstructure failure. You could also buy items like speed coils, which could help you get faster, even faster than the normal shift sprint will. And many more things, including potentially a revamped core tablet display. From the student union in the Twitch chat, will there ever be guns in the shop? I am going to have to say no. I am going to say no to that because I don't believe that guns make a really good addition to a sci-fi game. Some games can do it right. For example, Quantum Science. They added their Raider Game Pass, and I think it works well, because QDF, their defense firm, can balance it out pretty well. I honestly don't believe in a security group for Astral, so I think guns wouldn't really be the best thing to do. From Mefin in the Discord, Astral lore when, especially for Sterling Heights. Astral lore is being worked on over time. There is technically an Astral lore Google Doc in the history book channel in the Discord server. So go ahead and feel free you can go ahead and feel free to look at that. And from Philosophy in the Twitch chat, canon story of Energy Research Hub. Again, go ahead and go to our Discord server to read up on that. It's a long story and I couldn't really explain it here. From Virtual Paradox, will there be a second survival option for Energy Research Hub? Yes, actually. That has been. I'm essentially confirming this for Release 1. There will be a way to survive the TIPR explosion by sealing the blast seal at the entrance zone, then going into a secondary evacuation spot, probably the parking garage. From Badger the Boss on Roblox, do you endorse the Sun Cult? Praise the sun. That's all I'm saying. From the Student Union, will there be a freeze down? No. Freeze downs are stupid. I don't believe in them. They make no physical sense. And honestly, it's just stupid. Like, why? The freeze downs make no sense to me. It's just stupid in literally every way. Just, it makes no sense. And like, whatever. Oh. Will there be a surface from Difficult Hydra? Energy Research Hub will not feature a surface area. However, I do plan on having a surface area for Sterling Heights. Sterling Heights is going to have a surface area where people can explore like a new town area, which will have different like shops, like a pizza shop. Ah, great! Someone killed the lights on the main feed. Can someone get that, please? Again, from Virtual. Thank you. From Virtual Paradox, will Energy Research Hub have reactor chamber access? No. I never planned to... I had decided that Energy Research Hub would not have a planned reactor chamber entrance. This is due to the way that the TIPR works. Like, it would kill anyone instantly who stepped into the chamber at all, just based off the immense amount of heat radiated off the plasma rings. From Nubo, will OSHA inspectors / mass crowds / site defenses be added soon? Again, Energy Research Hub is almost completed. Release 1 will just be a small update to add different community features and stuff like that. So, yeah. Let's just say that OSHA isn't welcome here. Wink, wink. Do you plan on adding more NPCs to Energy Research Hub? From Mefin. Not to Energy Research Hub. Energy Research Hub, I think it's fine with just a receptionist, but there will be plenty of NPCs in Sterling Heights. Trust me, you'll love to meet them all, and potentially even, like, take a favorite character or two. So, if anyone has any final questions, go ahead and let us know. Will fuel cells ever be a thing? For Sterling Heights, there will be a fuel system mechanic. We're trying to keep it as original as possible, so you won't be directly going onto the reactor to fuel it. There will be a system of fueling the reactor from outside of the chamber in Sterling Heights. Will Atom Hex be in Sterling Heights? From Philosophy. That's still undecided. We don't know whether or not a superstructure failure event happened in Astral lore, but once we do recognize that, we can determine the fate of current Energy Research Hub characters, such as Adam and Sylvain and Willow. Mefin, Hex/Sylvain family lore. Write that if you want. I honestly wouldn't be, I'm not that interested in that. From Difficult Hydra, affiliate slide when? You make a solid point. I would like to take this time to recognize Astral Industries affiliates, being Sapphire Incorporated and Nova Incorporated, and coming soon, Scorch Technologies as an affiliate. We would like to. These groups have both greatly helped Astral Industries and are always nice guys to have. Oh my gosh. Wattpad? No, I'm not writing a Wattpad story about Adam and Willow. That is just cursed. Please, never mention that again. Seriously. Why do you do this to me? Can we start a meltdown to celebrate STM's promotion? I don't think we can because event mode kind of breaks the meltdown script, so we'd have to make a new server to do that after the event if we want to, but like... Yeah. So, any last questions? If there's no more questions, then we'll be able to cut off the stream and call this event a day. After that, we can probably head into a public server and celebrate the event, or probably just celebrate STM's promotion. But if you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. Alright, I'm just going to move my character a little bit. Just give it a quick wiggle. Probably come over here a little bit. Yeah, this is good. Okay, Philosophy, you can stop jumping in front of the camera. Okay, so, how has scripting gone for you? Was it easy to learn? Scripting, it's a steep learning curve. From Offworld's development, it took a long time to fully learn how to get everything implemented. And it's just a lot of trial and error, a lot of progress, a lot of hard work. It's a very steep learning curve, but honestly, in my opinion, it is so worth it. Once you learn how to script, everything you can generate ideas and just bring them to life. It is the most incredible feature that I have ever thought of. Will Energy Research Hub have streaming enabled on? I have not looked into streaming enabled. I'll have to take a look at it after the event, but thank you for telling me about that. Once I read up on it and potentially see what the benefits could be, I may enable it. I honestly don't know what it does yet, but I might enable it. I don't know yet. Can you read off the special thanks list again? My audio cut out when the stream broke. Sure. So I would personally like to give my special thanks to these content creators for making content off of Astral Industries games. First off, we have A Scorch for making a video on Energy Research Hub Beta 1, Virtual Paradox for making a video on Alpha 3 for Energy Research Hub, Roblox Gaming Mobile for making an Alpha 3 content video and full facility tour, Discovery for making Energy Research Hub Alpha 3 content, an extremely long and really long name for making an off-world energy production site video with over 1,000 views. Like, seriously, that still is incredible to me. From the Student Union, will there be a corporate rank? Maybe. I'm not sure. Like, it just depends. Like, whether or not I want to take that further. Like, we have the, builder and, researcher roles already, I believe. No, scientist and engineer roles. From Difficult Hydra, what would you recommend to a first-time reactor builder? What I would recommend is looking at things that have already been done and trying to figure out ways to make them original. For example, I took the concept of the AIERH reactor from Zenisu Cloud Storage Facility and made it into a way that I think would have worked like as a unique and original design. Being original, in my opinion, is the best quality that a sci-fi game can have. So try to stray away from DMR copies and from ball cores that are just floating neon balls in the sky with like a shield on them. Alright, so if there are no more questions, then I will go ahead and be cutting the stream off. To all of those in-game, we will be heading to a public server sometime soon to celebrate STM's promotion. So, if you want to stick around after that, go ahead. So, for everyone in the server and for everyone watching from now on, I'm going to give one last thank you. Without you guys, Astral Industries would have never been possible and would have definitely never have gotten this far. So, one last time, this has been Aiden1Lol, or Alpha X2, and this has been Astral Central 2020.